He has a very intriguing theory about Odilo Scherer. He's the Archbishop of Sao Paulo in Brazil. That he might be a candidate of the Curialists and the Progressives. And it's kind of a church can be governed theory, from below. Really so interesting little theory that these two forces might be behind Scherer's candidacy. Now go back a couple years. I remember Cardinal George of Chicago saying to me, of course, the two names that come up are Cardinal O'Malley of Boston and especially Cardinal Dolan of New York. My own view is that what the church needs now is someone like Cardinal Dolan to give us a new face, that kind of exuberant, life-affirming, joyful
With the cardinals gathered, these are the urns they will use to vote for a new pope.
I cannot predict what is going to happen.
The Archbishop of Milan, Angelo Scola,
with Pope Benedict and John Paul II. He is also considered a pastor.
There's also Cardinal Gianfranco Schoenborn from neighboring Austria. To Honduran Cardinal Oscar Andres Rodriguez Maradiaga, he may be considered. Cardinal Leonardo Sandri of Argentina gained fame for acting as the voice of an ailing Pope John Paul II. Pedro Scherer could be Brazil's best congregation swell. Cardinal Peter Kodo Apla Turkson of Ghana is a contender, but has been prone to gas. Could be French-Canadian Cardinal Marc Roulette. He's earned respect at the Vatican.
Date of the second coming of Yahushua, although we all have been commanded by the Messiah.
Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour
Father Yahuwah has given important prophecies concerning events leading up to the second coming. Its wordage will reveal how close we are to the end of the world. And the second chapter speaks of a chronological succession of 8 kings. The 8th king's arrival will be the last of these kings, and his end will signal the end of the world. And the video will show we are within but a few years of the glorious second coming of Yahushua Messiah. Let us now go straight to the study of Revelation 17.
So he mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
In vision, the angel took John forward in time to the reign of the 6th king. Thus John was informed that the first 5 kings were already fallen, that is, they had died, and the 7th king will come at the expiration of the office of this 6th king. 4. The reign of the 7th king was forecast to be of short duration in relationship to the present 6th king. After the 7th king, an 8th will arise from the bottomless pit. The angel gave John a riddle. He stated that the 8th king was a beast. Yet he is not currently a beast during the reign of the 6th king. This same beast will emerge again as a beast power and will go to perdition. This enigma is further compounded by the angel when he mentioned to John that the 8th king was one of the 7. Now let us try to understand what this vision is all about. It is commonly used in the scriptures as the symbol of a church group. The ecclesia, or adulterous woman, represents an impure, compromising, or unfaithful church. Catholics have grudgingly agreed with this interpretation. Bishop Alvaro Palayo confessed 300 years before the Reformation that, considering the papal court has filled the whole church with simony and the consequent corruption of religion, it is natural enough the heretics should call the church the whore. Long before the era of the Reformation, another notable Catholic cardinal and general of the Franciscans, Saint Bonaventure, stated in his commentary on the book of Revelation that Rome was the harlot who makes kings and nations drunk with the wine of her whoredoms. That is, the whore of Revelation 17. Harlot church of Revelation 17. We need to understand what is meant by wilderness to determine when the Roman Catholic Church entered into her wilderness until 1798 AD. It fled to the wilderness.
And the woman, true church, fled into the
Catholic Church enter her wilderness experience, just as Yahuwah's true church came out of theirs? Yes, this was exactly the case. In 1798, the Catholic Church not only lost her temporal power over the kings, dukes, and princes of much of Europe, but was in fact no longer free to carry her own ecclesiastical privileges, such as selecting a pope to succeed Pius VI. When Pope Pius VI was banished to Valence by the French general Berthier, up to 1870, when Rome was usurped by the Italian army, the Roman Catholic Church was entrenched in her wilderness experience, made the new capital of the Kingdom of Italy in 1861, and finally overtaken in 1870. Pope Pius IX considered himself a prisoner of the Vatican, as it was the only part of Rome not taken over by the Italian troops. It was incomprehensible for the Roman pontiff to be the head of Catholics the world over, yet in his own country be subjected to another head of state. On February 11, 1929, the Lateran Treaty was signed between Italy and the Holy See. The Italian state recognized the sovereignty of the Catholic Church and regarded the Church as an independent member of the international community, as the absolute monarch over the Vatican. In 1929, the commencement of the title King, expressed in verse 10 of Revelation 17, was given to the Bishop of Rome for the very first time. It was the best agreement the Church of Rome could obtain to restore the Pope back to his sovereign status. He could now issue his own passport as a sovereign king. In 1929, the count of the 7 kings of Revelation 17 commenced. This timeline of kings since the 1929 Lateran Treaty reveals the astounding prophetic news that we have been living under the reign of the 7th king since 2005, when King Pope Benedict XVI acceded to the throne of the Vatican City State. However, his reign is destined to be of a short duration.
And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
If we exclude the shortest papal reign of 33 days by John Paul I, it would seem that a short space for a pope would be any period between 5 and 10 years. Now let us move on to the 8th king, who will be last pope. The 8th king, Pope, will arise from the bottomless pit.
The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition.
Is abusos, which has the English counterpart, abyss. The following verses clearly define the abusos.
There met him, YESHUA, out of the city a certain man, which had devils a long time. And YESHUA asked him, saying, What is thy name? And he said, Legion, because many devils were entered into him. And they besought him, that he would not command them to go out into the deep, abusos. Then went the devils out of the man, and entered into the swine.
Equals the prison house of the fallen angels. The 8th king, Pope, will not be human, but rather a fallen angel. The prophecy contains another important key in determining the identity of the 8th king. The 8th and final king will also be one of the 7 kings that has engulfed planet Earth today. As foretold in prophecy, the reign of the 7th king Pope is indeed coming to an end. The first 4 trumpets of Revelation will soon blast and end before the end of Benedict XVI's reign. We invite you to view the 7 Trumpets of Revelation video series.